Hello, everyone, and welcome back. The Expanse Season 5 is over. In this video, we're going to talk all about Season 5, our first impressions, our review. We're going to go through the story arcs. It's going to be super fun. If this is your first time watching this channel, welcome. I'm Greg.
And I'm Erin.
This is Fan Dummies. Season 5 was a very different season, and we're going to kind of get into why it was. But if you remember Season 4, we got a hint of what Season 5 was going to be like because the very last episode, the season finale of Season 4, Marco launches stealth-coated rocks towards Earth.
I assumed Season 5 would be centered around Marco, but really the whole crew separated and they weren't together.
Yeah, I think the overall story arc was Marco-centric, but not even every episode had Marco in it.
Yeah, essentially Season 5 consists of stories from all the characters.
Yeah. So let's kind of go through the different stories and just talk about how we felt about them and what we liked about them or disliked, and see how it goes. All right, starting off, we saw Bobby was working for Avasarala on Mars, and she suspected that weapons were being stolen from the Martian military by Marco or being sold to Marco. They had a gut feeling that Marco was getting his military hardware from Mars, but not officially.
Yeah.
And Alex's story intersects with Bobby because he's on Mars to check on his son. And, he goes to see Bobby. It's just like, if you're in Atlanta and you have a friend that's in Atlanta, you stop by and say hi. That's kind of how it happened. And Bobby told Alex what was going on, and he didn't believe her. And then he got mixed up in it and she had to come save him. And that's kind of how they teamed up on this. He took the admiral's aide out to dinner, and then they were going to kill him. They busted in his room and we're going to kill him, and Bobby had to come save him.
Yeah, Bobby and Alex thought that they were spying on the professor and his aide, but it really turns out the other way around.
Yeah. I thought it was really fun. So what did you think of the whole Bobby and Alex story arc?
I love the team up.
I know. God, so sad.
Yeah. But I mean, Alex is such a great pilot, and Bobby, she's just awesome. She's just awesome, Bobby.
Bobby Draper is a character that I didn't know I was missing until we got her.
Yeah.
Right. As soon as we got her, I was like, oh, this whole time I'm dying for her to join the Rossi. But she just hasn't yet. She just kind of weaves in and out through the story.
Yeah, I think the Rocinante would bore her. She's got just too much going for her. She needs that adventure.
Yeah. She's definitely tough. I don't know. This story arc was one of my favorites. I love them in the Razor Crest together. And how really Alex really likes Bobby. He tries to really be her friend. And she just barely is warming up to him.
I think that's just Bobby, though. I don't know. She just doesn't really have an openness to friendship, I don't think. Who can she trust and everything? I
think that, after the military did her wrong, she just is very cautious of putting herself out there.
Yeah, she's very independent. But I mean, both of the characters, neither one of them really have family or relationships on the show, so they kind of need each other.
Yeah.
But not anymore.
Not anymore. Amos had to go to Earth to settle his affairs with a woman that I guess took care of him as a child. And when he's there, after he kind of settles his affairs, he goes to the UN prison complex, which, the UN is this giant complex, to see Peaches, who, if you remember, is Clarissa Mao. And she was on the Behemoth she was trying to kill Holden and blow up the behemoth. Remember, she was gonna like, she's like making the laser do the thing or something. I can't remember exactly what was happening, but she was bad.
Yeah.
She was real bad.
Yeah. And she has the superhero power or whatever.
Yeah. She's got like implants that make her real strong and crazy. So when he's down in the jail,
like 500 floors down below?
Yeah, because apparently they're really scared of her. While he's down there, one of these rocks hits the UN complex. I mean, like smack dab, boom. And he survives. I mean, Amos is unkillable anyway, so he would have survived anyway. But
yeah, they're not going to write him off, I don't think.
No, he's too amazing. Amos and we'll just call her Peaches. Amos and Peaches' journey were really to figure out how to get into space. They wanted to get on the moon so that they could be picked back up by the Rocinante. Plus, we know Murder Snuggles and Avasarala, they're tight. Like
besties.
He's got the hots for her. She appreciates him, I think, because he gets the job done.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an interesting team up. What did you think of this Murder Snuggle journey?
I like Amos and Peaches. I think, again, they have a good dynamic. I mean, Amos is Murder Snuggles, and he's all about killing and all for himself or helping his team. And then there's Peaches, and, she has a soft side for, saving other humans and being kind. So I like how, she kind of brings that, softness, I think, into Amos's life.
I also think he realized on that journey, he might have even said it, that he's not good without James Holden.
Yeah.
Like he starts to think more murdery than Snuggly.
Yeah, and she kind of grounds him.
Yeah. She kept him from maybe taking over Earth.
Yeah. They were just going to leave those people on the island where they went to get the ship. But instead she's like, no, we need to save these people,
I think Amos would have just shot them all. Like not just leave them, but like just figure out they're better off dead.
Yeah. So I like that. And I want to see how Peaches finally integrates into the Rocinante. Because when he brought her in to meet Holden.
Oh, this was hilarious.
What's Holden going to say,
He's not going to say anything. I mean, the crew is a bunch of misfits as it is. I mean, he doesn't even know Amos's real name.
Yeah.
Timmy.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if there's going to be a romance I wonder if it's going to be Murder Peaches or Snuggle.
It already seems like Peaches. There is kind of one, but
I don't know.
I think he's sweet on her somewhat.
Yeah, but I don't see Amos as the settle down type. I think he just likes having friends. Like he only makes a few friends, but when he makes them, like they're for life.
Yeah.
One of the more rougher story arcs in this season is Naomi's, where she goes to try to find her son, Philip, who is with Marco, which is basically the big bad of the season. And in order to find him, she has to go to the space station where they all used to work, because Naomi was part of this revolution or terrorist movement, whatever you want to call it, depending on if you're a belter or you're on Earth, right? She was part of this movement when it started, but she got out of it.
She's the only one with sense to know that, like maybe we shouldn't be doing this.
I think it was Philip's birth that kind of started the second thoughts, and Marco knew that she was going to try to take him away, like take Philip and leave, or he hid Philip, and she basically had a breakdown and then left. So her going back to this scenario really took a lot of guts, and it didn't work out.
Yeah, it was frustrating. Like, I don't know really what she was thinking. She was going to bring a ship. Hopefully Philip would agree with her and take the ship and leave. I mean, he's grown up with his dad. It seems like it'd be really hard to get him to leave. I mean, that's what he knows. He doesn't know anything better. Like, it's just engraved in his mind for all these years. I don't understand how she thought that she could, get him to leave.
I agree. I think she is totally overestimating her ability.
Uh-huh.
And maybe she's just a little bit cocky since they saved the universe, essentially.
Yeah, maybe.
She's like, combat an alien, build her technology, build a ring, do stuff on Mars, defeat some belters, help Earth. I mean, she's basically done everything.
Yeah.
And I think she probably just thought, I'm a belter celebrity.
Yeah.
So how can he possibly turn me down?
Sure.
Turns out she's not as well liked by the belt as she thinks.
She's sweet on an earthling, so.
Yeah. Speaking of Naomi's sweet earthling, Holden is kind of not doing too much. He's on Tycho Station. He's getting constantly annoyed by Monica Stewart. She's bringing him like every crazy idea that she has, which are mostly right.
Uh-huh.
I mean, Holden, he's so funny because he makes assumptions and they're almost always wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Like he assumed Mars blew up the ship originally, right? He makes all these assumptions.
Mm-hmm.
He assumed Fred Johnson was selling out the protomolecule to the belt, right? Like he makes all these assumptions and, he's right sometimes, but he's mostly wrong. And Monica is mostly right. She uses her giant brain and reporter kind of methodology to look at the pieces that just aren't quite right. And she gets locked in a container for it, and Holden has to find her.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it was so good. But Holden, it just goes wrong when he's on Tycho.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing really good happens there. Did you like that storyline at all, or were you glad when Holden was on the screen, or were you wishing for another character story to continue?
It was a little weird. I think that he was just there by himself and he has a new crew on the Rocinante, but it's just not the same, as Amos and Naomi and Alex and sometimes Bobby.
Just a temporary crew.
It's fine, but it just didn't seem like he was needed that often. Really, what was his story? Besides the whole part with Fred Johnson and his dynamic with him and the protomolecule and everything that happened with him.
Yeah, I think Holden was really a supporting character up until maybe the last episode, which we'll talk about.
Mm-hmm.
The writers, I think, were really just making sure James Holden was in the right place at the right time in order to respond to events that were happening. Whether he did a good job or not, I mean, he lost the protomolecule. Fred Johnson's dead.
Yeah. He almost got blown up, and he almost got Naomi blown up.
Yeah. Yeah. But, sad and mopey Holden isn't really anything new to the Expanse. So really, it was really normal Holden for the first half.
Yeah. What do we call them? Smolders?
Smolden.
Smolden.
We talked about Smolden, but Fred Johnson, I was really kind of sad to see him go because he seemed like the kind of character the belt really needed, like somebody to bridge the gap between Earth and the belt. Somebody that's, just to show people can work together.
Yeah, ever since we saw Fred Johnson on The Expanse, I was like, oh, Chad Coleman from The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And when they killed him off on The Expanse, I was like, OMG, we have to watch Chad Coleman die all over again. In The Walking Dead, he got bit by a zombie and he finally died.
Mm-hmm.
And The Expanse, he got killed over trying to take the protomolecule. And the cool part is in The Walking Dead, Sasha, his sister, is Sneakwa Martin Green, Michael Burnham from Star Trek. So I like to cross the stars.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
I like it. That's pretty much what went through my head while we watched that scene. One
of the more suspenseful story arcs of the season is Kamina Drummers. She starts out with her kind of little group of her little family. She starts out being like an ethical pirate. There's this, kind of belter thing where picking at the scraps of the inners and, to survive. And that was that's kind of what belters are supposed to do, according to Kamina Drummer. Well, Marco comes along and conscripts her, and I think she had 3 ships at the time, her and her ships, maybe 2. He conscripts her into the Free Navy. He gives her a choice, but she knows that it's either join me or die.
Yeah, pretty much.
Her only choice is to join them because she's with her whole family, which she loves. And what I didn't know, which I thought was interesting, is that she loves Naomi. Not as like a friend, but like is in love with Naomi. And when she thought she was dead, it like really impacted her. So I want to know, maybe I missed it in all of the previous seasons, or maybe it's something that only happens in the book, but was Naomi part of their little family at some point?
Yeah, they worked together on the Behemoth. And
well, we saw that, but I didn't get the impression that it was romantic.
I don't know if I knew it was romantic, but I think I kind of felt that it was like a family situation, but they were closer. I mean, the way she kind of talked about her, I think in this last season, I think it made me go, maybe it is something more.
I mean, I'm just saying Holden might be good with it.
Maybe.
He's never tried out that belter lifestyle. Maybe it suits him. He doesn't even know this is happening. He just think, I have this girlfriend, Naomi, but Naomi's got a past.
Yeah. I don't know. I like Drummer a lot. I think she's pretty awesome.
Yeah, me too.
I don't blame her for not siding with Marco and the Free Navy, even though they are belters. I'm glad that she sees him for, being a terrible guy.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to join that side. And plus, Marco killed Ashford. That's just wrong. I don't think that she could forgive him.
He had to kill Ashford because Ashford was like a hero to the belt.
Yeah.
He was like a super pirate.
But I mean, the way that Ashford and Drummer got along from the last season, I mean, they didn't really agree on anything at the beginning, but then they finally became really good friends towards the end, and then they killed him off, and it's pretty sad.
I didn't like Ashford at all, but like you said, we grew to like him as Kamina did.
Yeah, I think so.
which I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I like the way that they did that.
And then there's Marco's like right-hand woman, Sin, and she gets put on Drummer's ship, and the whole time I'm just like, oh my gosh, is someone gonna kill that lady? Like, she just kept mouthing off, and she's just so hardcore and listens to Marco and everything. And I'm just like, oh gosh, like, I'm over this lady. Like, someone just put her out the airlock already.
Yeah, but if it was a real military ship, she would be operating properly.
Yeah, for sure. It's hard to have a character come in and boss around the characters that you like. That's from the bad crew.
I know.
It just doesn't work.
I really felt bad about wanting her to die.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I thought to myself, like, come on, Greg, like, what is wrong with you that you want this person in this show to be pushed out the airlock?
Like, Marco and the whole crew, Philip, I think if they would have blown up their ship and they would have all died, I think that would have been fine. I just didn't want Naomi or Drummer to die. So I think that you have to get rid of the people that you don't want. And even if they didn't die, because they're not going to stop.
Yeah.
So you have to do something about it.
Oh yeah, they're all gonna die. There's no doubt about it. I just hope that, it gets wrapped up.
Yeah.
All right, so let's wrap up this segment. What's your final thoughts on the season as a whole? Just give us a quick review.
Yeah, I really liked season 5. I think that it was a little different than what we've seen in these past seasons. Just with the fact that all the characters were separate on their own like storylines.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy, I think, getting to know some of these characters a little bit better. I mean, even just like the whole Naomi Phillip storyline. I think that was pretty interesting. We got a backstory with people who knew Naomi before, Holden and the Rocinante crew knew her. And I also really like the dynamic of Alex and Bobby and Amos and Peaches. So I think that their little storylines, I mean, even though it wasn't a whole lot, because, they had to split the stories up, I did enjoy that. Because it wasn't just like all of them on the ship going out and exploring. But I do wish that they would have started the season Earth getting hit by the rocks, and then all of a sudden it would have really moved forward into Marcos and the Martians going to the gate and going through, and all that starting with the protomolecule like right away.
Should have happened all at once.
And then we would have went right into the season that way.
Yeah,
maybe have like a little bit of Naomi and Philip backstory like along the way.
This was not my favorite season, but The Expanse is one of my favorite shows, and this is a solid season in that show, but it definitely was not my favorite. I honestly think it was mostly filler. Like Amos's entire story, we get Peaches out of it, but it doesn't really move the larger story forward.
It seems like we got a little bit of his backstory though, because we know Timmy and
filler.
Like where he used to live in Philadelphia and what he used to kind of do.
Totally get it. And I liked it. I was very entertained. I thought the Amos story was good, but it didn't really move the whole story arc forward.
I kind of like the fact that once Earth did get hit by the asteroids, it kind of turned dystopian and you have to fight for survival and everything because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I like that aspect of that storyline.
Yeah. I also think that the whole drummer storyline was also kind of filler. What happened with her at the end? Nothing. She freed herself from Marco, but then nothing.
Well, I think her like little family crew members, I don't know if they're all going to leave her, but a lot of them are.
Yeah.
And so maybe that'll free her up to go do something else next season. So she's not going to be just a pirate.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's the case. I'm assuming she's going to meet up with the Rocinante or she's going to go to the moon and help out or something. But it seemed like a lot of buildup just for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the Naomi and Philip story arc, but I really thought Naomi was going to die. I think that would have tweaked Holden just enough to make next season a little crazy.
Like if she did die?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think he has to have a hatred in his soul for Marco in order to pull off what needs to happen next season.
They drew out that Naomi.
It was too much.
In the ship and then her jumping out of the ship and then waiting there for Alex and Bobby to get there.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, like, are they really going to kill her off? And I'm like, no, this is a sci-fi show. She's not going to die. They'll save her.
Yeah.
And then when they just all of a sudden killed Alex off at the very end, it was just kind of like,
yeah.
And he was gone. And then there was like no suspense or buildup for that. It was kind of weird.
We learned why they had to do that. And, we're not going to talk about that on this show, but at least there was a reason and it wasn't just bad writing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
If they intended for that to happen and it happened in that way, it would be terrible writing. But but all in all, I really thought the season was good. Other people seem to like it as well. If you look at the Rotten Tomatoes score, what did it look like, Erin?
The tomato meter was 100%.
Yeah, and that's the critics, right?
That's the critics.
Yeah.
Which is pretty high. I mean, we don't usually come across shows with 100%.
Not from the critics. It's very rare.
Yeah. And the audience score was 88%, which is pretty high too.
Yeah. I think the audience score in past seasons has been 100 or in the high 90s.
Has it?
I do think an 88 is probably where this season landed. I mean, in my opinion, you only need to really watch the last episode.
Yeah.
If you really want to move the story forward, if you care about the overarching story, the last episode has it all, which is what we're going to get into next.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe, thumbs up, and the bell. We would love to continue this conversation in the comments or on social media. We are at FanDummies everywhere. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Bye.